Come with me, I need a confession. Please have a seat.
I need to make a confession. I need to come clean.
You're forgiven.
Father, wait, I didn't confess yet.
I didn't really want to like this game.
Hurry, let's get this over with.
The developer, MachineGames, was coming off of a run of Wolfenstein games, a series known for full-tilt action, and I wanted more of that sweet, violent-y goodness. Instead, they were offering up Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I didn't want it. I don't dislike Indy. I think the original movie trilogy is fine. Solidly good, even. I have no beef with Indiana Jones. I just never had a deep affinity for the character the way I do for Wolfenstein's BJ Blazkowicz. MachineGames' ability to combine over-the-top first-person shooting with a surprising amount of also over-the-top narrative and character depth in Wolfenstein has long made it a game series that I think too many people have slept on. Well, turns out, unfortunately, you shouldn't sleep on this one either, bud. Because despite my hesitance, I loved the hell out of this game. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle kicks serious ass. It's one of the best games I played this year, and I need to talk about it. The opening, I don't know, like 15 minutes of this game is basically a shot-for-shot remake of the opening to the 1981 film Raiders of the Lost Ark, only with less orchestral music, and you can now blunder through Steven Spielberg's carefully choreographed sequence like a lost and clumsy child scampering barefoot through the theater, ruining everyone's experience at the cinema. Control your kid! This feels like a proof of concept that never should have left MachineGames' offices. It somehow feels self-indulgent. I don't know exactly, but who is it for? Are you reminding players who Indiana Jones is? Making sure he isn't confused for Idaho Johnson? Fans of the series know who he is, and people who don't know anything about Indiana Jones are probably going to spend the rest of the game wondering when Dr. Octopus is going to show back up. Because no way, dude. If media literacy has taught me anything, it's that an actor that famous never dies in the beginning. He's coming back. Idaho Johnson or Indiana Jones better watch his six. Okay, but once we get past that opening, the game takes off. If you were expecting an Uncharted or Tomb Raider clone, then you were way off, bud. Not only is the game in first person, but it offers a lot more freedom of exploration. The game largely consists of generously sized hub areas that you can freely explore in tandem with progressing the main story. Also, you don't have Drake or Croft's gorilla grippers. Playing as Indiana Jones sort of feels like being a normal dude, not a superhero. A lot of people were hesitant about this being in first person, but not me. I championed that shit from its day one announcement. You can see that here in this video. You don't really need to check it out because I know you trust me. We're tight like that, and I appreciate it. But I just wanted an excuse to put up a picture of my great big bushy beard because I miss the damn thing. But I'm growing it back. I'm growing it back. Step by step, day by day, a fresh start over a different hand to play. Anywho, I knew back then with Wolfenstein and have had it confirmed by this game now that MachineGames are masters of first-person immersion. When you step into the shoes of Alaska Jackson, are you him? Yes, you are him. From whipping the gun out of a fascist fist to punching a Nazi square in his weak-ass jaw with Indy's trademark thunderclap fisticuffs, to doing whatever this is to that poor wall. You really get a sense of player agency as Indiana Jones. This is immersive sim light in many ways. You have multiple pathways, tons of collectibles and secrets to uncover, and a host of side missions. As someone who doesn't usually 100% games because I tend to ignore side content that isn't compelling in the moment, I really appreciated how basically all of the side missions here folded back into the main story in a relevant way, expanding your understanding of it, and wasn't just like mindless filler to pad playtime. You aren't just being asked to help some rando farmer find his chickens or whatever the hell games think protagonists should be doing these days because the upstairs people think the computer people need to make the game longer because the aforementioned upstairs people told the money people that long game good. Now, I didn't do every side mission in my first run of the game, but I want to mention that upon completion, the game offers a system to pick and choose various levels to replay. So if you are someone who likes to 100% a game, don't worry. You can enjoy the story at whatever pace feels natural to you and return after finishing the game to tie up loose ends and hunt down every last collectible. This is an awesome feature that I wish more games would implement going forward, sort of a post-game chapter select for completionists or people who just want to revisit their favorite section. The gameplay itself, and I played on hard for gameplay and the default moderate for puzzles, is a mixture of fairly easygoing stealth, bumbling combat, and some fun exploration / puzzle solving. Exploration is king here, and the level of variety is expansive and often beautiful. Would you look at that? From running around a dig site in North Africa to making your way upriver deep in the jungles of Southeast Asia, or exploring the depths of an ancient tomb by the light of a torch. This game will entice you along a path that had me grinning from ear to ear. And look, like I said, I'm not normally a collectathon enjoyer, but I found myself scurrying down all sorts of winding paths and out-of-the-way sections of the maps, feeling rewarded with every turn of a corner, even if it was just to find some baked carbohydrates. Utah Jenkins eats a lot of bread, bagels, rolls, spaghetti, whatever. And that is a weird mechanic. That's the one thing that actually doesn't feel very Indiana Jones, is carb loading after a fist fight. This is executive produced by Bethesda's Todd Howard though, and I mean, in Skyrim I guess I did eat many a wheel of cheese. Stealth is workmanlike. This is not a cutting-edge stealth experience. The enemy AI is bonkers dumbed down, even on hard. But honestly, that doesn't matter. This game is meant to be an adventure, not a challenge. Hell yeah, indie ghosts by the guards, bonking each in turn on the head and sending them tumbling into dreamland like sacks of potato. Or sacks of shit. These are Nazis, after all. Except when he doesn't, because even with how dumb the AI is, the sheer amount of guards means you will be stumbling and bumbling your way through half the levels. And that is actually when the game really shines. Armed with your whip, a revolver, and Indy's trusty left and right hooks, you are stamina bound yet formidable. Add in the fact that Vermont J. Cheddar can pick up a whole host of melee options like guitars, broomsticks, pots and pans, or these adorably tiny baseball bats, and break them over the heads of Nazis, and combat is starting to get wild. Now sprinkle that with the rifles, machine guns, and shotguns you can scavenge, and now we're talking. Ammo is scarce, and guns attract attention, so oftentimes it's best to flip that sucker around and use the gun to clobber someone's brains out. When you do actually use a firearm the way Samuel Colt intended, every bad guy in earshot descends upon you with officers whistling for reinforcements, and it turns into a slapstick scramble. And you will go from bare fists to machine gun to a shovel to running away as fast as your limited professor stamina will carry you. It never got old for me, trying to sneak through a Nazi camp only to be spotted right in the heart of the enemy presence. Improvising a way out of each situation really captured that pulpy adventure feel of a 1930s serial, which is of course what Indiana Jones was always trying to capture. I also want to make mention of the story and the character performances. This is leagues better than the two more modern Indiana Jones movies, and I would say on par with the original trilogy, though I'm sure super fans of the IP might scoff at that. But objectively, I'm right and they're wrong. The story is well told, and the pacing in the main missions kept me hooked as I raced across the globe to stop the dastardly Emmerich Voss. And holy shit, this guy steals the whole thing.
I can hear your gears turning now. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Portrayed by actor Marius Gavrilis, Voss is an incredible villain. A lot of noise has been made about Troy Baker's spot-on impersonation of a young Harrison Ford, and deservedly so. It's perfect.
You have any idea of the archaeological significance of the Great Circle? I'm not letting this one go.
So perfect that Harrison Ford commented,
I think this guy did a great job. If I'd known he was so good, I would have done it myself.
But as good as Baker is as Dr. Jones, I wanted to mention Gavrilis' Voss because the character is so bombastic, so insecure, and yet so clever and overall just so menacing that the portrayal of Voss is something that I think will garner more appreciation over time. Grade A villainy.
Wo waren die Affengeräusche? Um ihren peinlichen Versuch, Dominanz zu zeigen, zu unterstreichen.
Really, there are no weak links in performance, or characters in general. Everything fits. It all works to propel you through this adventure that manages to feel like a forgotten film from the franchise. Along with the engrossing exploration and the slapstick-like nature of the improvisational combat, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a must-play. And mark my words, this game is going to have a long tail. This is a game people will be fondly remembering for years to come. It's not perfect, it's often hilariously janky, but it is pure joy to play and immensely entertaining. This is one of the greatest games to ever come out of the labyrinthine tangle of studios that is Xbox, and I dare say, this is an instant classic.
Father, forgive me because I've sinned. I had an affair with my mother-in-law.
It's all right. Just say 3 Hail Marys.
No, Father, you don't understand. My wife is expecting a child, and I fear that.
What?
Yeah, let me finish, please. I fear that my mother-in-law is with the child also.
Jesus Christ, what have you done?
Wait. You are not a priest.
Yes.